Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Tea with Force. It's holiday season, so it's time for Christmas sweaters, and I thought I'm feeling pretty damn fancy today, so do a little fancy opener. Welcome back, guys. This is Force with another question and answers Sunday Tea episode. As always, please send in your questions to me when I post a question, asking for questions on Twitter. And I'm going to do that usually about Sunday morning, Sunday early afternoon. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can ask me your questions there. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's questions. I don't even know if that sounds proper. It more sounds like stuck up. All right, first question. Are you planning to stream again sometime? That's an excellent question, Crazy Ivan. Yes, but every time I say I'm going to start streaming again, I start to do it and then I realize how much damn energy and like time it takes, and how it sort of takes away from what I do here on YouTube. And that was really honestly the biggest thing holding me back from doing it. Because when I do a live stream, I try to like have fun, I try to be entertaining, but mainly I just try to make sure I'm talking the whole time, to keep it fun and interesting and all that. And that takes a lot out of me. Maybe I'm a wuss, but I started to feel when I was trying to stream every single day that it was really cutting back, number one, on the amount of time that I was able to put in my YouTube videos, but number two, of the quality of those videos, because I'd sort of be drained if I stream for like 3 or 4 hours. That's roughly the time it takes to work on around one video, depending on what video it is, but especially something like the Force feed. And so that sort of stopped me from streaming as much because I wanted to make sure that here on YouTube, I'm putting out 2 to 3 videos a day, like Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I take it easy a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's possible. I think if I do, maybe it'll just be a little more relaxed and I'll just be hanging out. It'll be less of a show and more of a, I'm just playing this game. You can come watch if you want, but don't expect me to do anything fun or interesting. I don't know. We'll have to see. I guess the answer to your question is probably at some point I'll be streaming again. I just don't know in what capacity and when that'll start. Now, a question here from Team Permanent Kill Cam who says, are you considering covering ESO consoles on the channel or simply ESO on the PC? Well, I haven't covered ESO on the PC for a long, long time, but I have considered covering the console version of The Elder Scrolls Online for 2 reasons. Number one, because by the time it comes out, a lot will have changed with the game, so there might be some new and interesting things that I didn't see. But also, if I've got some friends who are going to play it, I'll probably just play it with them, because why not? I like playing games with my friends, even if they're bad games. See my childhood, in which most of the games we played were probably bad, but we were kids, we didn't care, we just played them and we had fun anyways. So yeah, I might very well. It's really going to depend on whether or not my friends do or not, though, I think. We've got a question next from Silent Salmon, who asks, do you yourself watch gaming-related content, such as streams, let's plays, talk shows, etc.? If so, what kind of content? I actually don't watch many other YouTubers. On occasion, I'll hop on and check out a video or two, but it's not like part of my daily habits or what. Damn it. Last week, Simba was ruining my show. This week, it's Maki Lin. Okay, this is Maki Lin. She's very sweet, but she does not like being held. I don't know why, but she's the sweetest damn cat. She's got the prettiest little face. And she's so very nice, but she doesn't like being held. She's going to run right the hell out of this room right now. She's probably got a bunch of fur all over my damn fancy-ass sweater, too. Oh yeah, do I watch gaming-related content? So the thing that I watch the most often is probably streams, and sometimes it'll just be like at night when I want to relax. I really like watching Hearthstone, actually. I don't do it that often, though. Probably only, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 nights a week. But if anything, I tend to watch streaming because I find it just kind of funny and interesting. But the YouTube stuff, not so much, which is kind of funny because you'd figure, I'm a YouTuber, you watch all the other YouTubers. Not really. Next question from Blore Boy, who says, I really enjoy your channel and sometimes fondly remember your SC2 commentary. Oh, the good old days. Is there a chance you'll ever do more? So probably never in the way that I did before. Like, we probably won't have shoutcasted matches or anything. But is it possible that I would ever revisit StarCraft 2? Possibly. Specific situations that I would envision would be for the next expansion. Am I going to get heavily back into StarCraft 2? Don't hold your breath. Seriously, please don't. I don't want anyone passing out for my sake. Black Magic User says cake or pie. That's a pie. That's a pie. That's an apple pie. That's a strawberry rhubarb pie. That's a pumpkin pie. Cake's all right, but pie is more, all right, let's just say this here. Pie is more wholesome. Now, they're both filled with crap tons of sugar, but cake is just cake and frosting. And maybe you put some stuff on top. But pie can be filled with all sorts of delicious things. Like I just met apples, strawberry rhubarb, is that real pumpkin? I don't think that's real. It might be real pumpkin, but it's like, it's just more, pie is more wholesome. It's better for you. You should switch to the pie side if you're a cake guy or gal. Justin asks, what gives the sandbox world and character class customization games like Skyrim staying power? The fact that not quite as much as a game like Minecraft, but when you've got these open games that really let you dive into the world, immerse yourself, and explore, there's just so many possibilities. In a lot of linear titles, there's really only so many options as you move your way from level to level around, say, a corridor shooter. Like, you're only going to replay that game's campaign so many times. But when you've got an open world like Skyrim, hell, I've sunk over 100 hours into Skyrim. I haven't even seen everything. There are literally entire areas of the map that I've not discovered. And that's the sort of thing, when you've got a huge size, when you've got a lot of places to go, things to see, and stuff like that, I think those aspects of those open world games, or specifically if you look at like sandbox titles, it's the freedom that I think really give those games huge staying power. Question from Simon Plum, who says, what's your girlfriend's view on your work as a YouTuber streamer? She thinks it's great, which is fantastic, because if you don't have someone who supports what you do, how's that relationship looking? But on a serious note, yeah, she's wholly supportive. She thinks it's fantastic. Besides the fact that, yes, I'm paying for all of our bills, she thinks it's fantastic that I'm able to do something and be involved in something that I love and enjoy, and that I can make a living off of it. I mean, that is fantastic. Anybody, really, no matter who you are, whatever it is you love and enjoy, if you can find a way to turn that around and make a living doing that thing or something related to that thing, go for it. And if you can, that's fantastic. And I'm pretty sure that's more or less how she feels. Seth asks, I'm starting to get into WoW and having issues selecting a main class. Opinions on balancing fun versus viability. So the only class that I've really heard a lot of people complaining about were shamans, although apparently they're getting reworked or fixed or whatever. But besides that, as far as I'm aware, all the other classes are at least okay. Someone's gonna yell at me about balance, but just play, I would say play the class that you think is the most fun and interesting. Every class that I've ever played in WoW, which that'll be every class. I think the only class that I haven't played to max level for the respective expansion that I was playing is the mage, but every other class I've gotten to max level, whatever expansion it was, and I've played them to some fair degree, and they've all been fun, and I've always found a way to have them be competitive. You know, they're numbers don't always check out and you can't always top the damage meters, but you're gonna play and have fun with pretty much whatever you pick, so just pick what you think seems most interesting. Steve Morris says, can we expect more Destiny coverage, or has the big budget advertising worn off for you? I don't know if the advertising's worn off, but I just got tired of doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know. I've got the Dark Below. I played that first mission. I'll probably go back at some point. I just don't know if I'm going to make any more videos on it. We'll have to see. I'll say this about Destiny. Destiny 2 sounds good. Can't wait for that. Philip Rognax Kristen says, what would you be doing if it weren't for your YouTube career? I have no idea. There could be any variety of things that I would be doing, interestingly enough. I probably still may while I'm doing this. I'd like to go back to school and finish up my degree just for the heck of it, even though it's probably not going to pertain to whatever I end up doing. I switched over to biology, what I was studying at university, and ended up stopping going because I couldn't afford it, basically. And then I started doing YouTube, and then I started making money. I was like, well, I can't afford to go back to school, or I could just put some more time into this, try to help it grow. And that's what I've been doing. So go back to school. That'll probably happen at some point eventually. We'll have to see. And there's a lot of things I'm interested in. I don't know that I could pinpoint one other specific thing that I'd like to do. I'm really intrigued with the science fields. And I think if I weren't doing something let's just call a spade. This is basically entertainment. Like, I'm not out in Hollywood right now, but I'm working in, I'm kind of working in the entertainment industry, gaming, right? So if I weren't doing something in this field, I'd probably 180 and do something completely different, out of the limelight, out of these bright lights. They're really bright. I got new soft boxes. You guys can probably tell the lighting looks a little different. I can't answer that question. There's a lot of stuff that I am interested in and that I feel confident that I could do. So I guess it's just a matter of picking one. And the final question for today comes from Wirinel de Saul, who says, what do you think about people telling you wasted time playing video games? No, don't listen. Listen, what you do in your spare... Playing video games is really no different than watching TV, watching a movie, reading a book, playing the guitar, paint, any recreational activity. This is just another recreational activity. Is it like helping the greater good of mankind? No, but neither are any of those other things that I mentioned. I guess unless you talk about like producing stuff. Like if you produce art or music, you can say that is overall benefiting. I'd say don't worry about it. That's what I'd say. I'd say to you, don't worry about it. If people are sweating you playing games, you're not hurting anybody. You're having fun. It's your free time. It's how you choose how to spend it. And if they do anything other than be 100% productive 100% of the time, then they're just hypocrites. And chances are that's the case. Chances are they're hypocrites if they harass you about doing something that you enjoy in your free time. Because everyone does. There's some crazy people out there who don't ever do anything for themselves in their free time. But I don't know. Don't worry about it. Live and let live, right? That's how I feel. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's episode of Sunday Tea Q&A with Force. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you've got questions for me on Sunday, I will be posing a question, asking for questions. You can respond and have them answered here on the episode. I hope you all have a fantastic afternoon. Put on your winter sweaters. It is the time, after all. And we'll stay classy. See you next time.